Hello, Amber Vilhauer here, your online business growth expert. And during today's 4-minute fast track video, I want to talk to you about goal setting. And you might think that you're the expert on goal setting, or you may really struggle with goal setting. But I'm here to just share with you how I approach my goal setting, because I really hit goals pretty often. And I think that I have it really down to an easy science. So this is what I'm about to share with you. When I approach my goals, I try to get as realistic as possible. And I also underscore this and start in your notebook. I plan for the unexpected. Okay, and that's huge when it comes to setting goals. Now let's go through some examples. Let's say that I am starting to run a webinar and it's my very first webinar. Well, I've heard other gurus out there that have had 1,000 people on their webinar. I've heard other experts say that they have 500 people on their webinars. Now, I have to logically think, though, that this is my very first webinar. The chances of me having 500 or 1,000 people on that webinar are not very strong. So it's not like I'm not planning to be successful, but I definitely want to have a realistic benchmark, and then I try to exceed that benchmark as much as I can. So I might think to myself, okay, at a bare bones minimum, I want to have 50 people on my first webinar. Now, I'm going to try like absolute crazy to get as many people on that webinar as possible. But if I set my goal at 500 and I only hit 50, how devastated am I going to be? It's going to really affect the way I run that webinar. Versus, let's say that I have 50 people scheduled and, my goal was 20. Well, then I'm going to be very excited. So it's not that I'm trying to set low goals. I'm trying to set realistic goals. Another example, let's say that you were going to run that webinar and you give yourself 1 week to promote it. How realistic is that? Now imagine how much promoting you could have done, or how many more people you could have gotten into that webinar if you gave yourself a 2 or 3 week lead time. So again, you're just kind of trying to create more of a logical approach to it. Now, here's a crazy one. I get asked on webinars and summits and podcasts how I approach my yearly planning, for example. What are my goals for the next year? I'm going to be totally honest with you. My goal for the next year is to beat whatever I did the last year. My goal for the next month is to beat whatever I did last month. My goal for that next webinar is to beat whatever I did on the last webinar. That way I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly improving, but I'm also not setting these crazy pants goals for myself and setting myself up for devastation and disappointment. Our mindsets as entrepreneurs are so critical, and anything can tip us off, right? Fears, emotions, comparison, perfection. There are so many things working against us as entrepreneurs to begin with without you making things so much harder for yourself, right? So when it comes to setting goals, definitely set goals, because statistics show that you will far exceed any growth opportunity you could have had you set the goals versus if you don't set goals for yourself. And they can be little goals. It could be, I want to write a blog post a week. I want to do a video a month. I want to send my newsletter out bi-weekly. I want to achieve this sales goal. I want to have a launch of $3,000. I want to put 50 people on a webinar. Set goals for yourself all the time and work toward achieving them, and just take action. Don't get in your head about it. And that's probably a tip I can go into in a whole other video about mindset. So definitely subscribe to these videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of this video. That way you're going to get notified when I have future video tips available. But really be sure that you're setting those goals and you are planning for the unexpected, because, life is pretty crazy how things just are always popping up and getting in our way and slowing us down. So definitely give yourself a little bit extra time than you think it's going to take you when it comes to your goals. Head on over to insightfuldevelopment.com to check out all the free resources and tools we have available for you, as well as the services that we could be offering to you to help you grow your business online. Until the next Fast Track video, just remember, no guts, no glory. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you soon.